Yes, we are live. Uh, my name is Alex Nestoratos, and I'm here to present you my session today. Uh, Hoping that at the end of it, some of you will go ahead and jump into this adventure of owning an e-com business, or or even those that already have a business, will at least turn their eyes at what matters most, at least from my perspective. I want you to bulletproof your future with this and build an empire. That's how I like to see things. Now, in the 30 minutes or less, I guess that I have, I decided to give this a little spin to be consistent for both parties. I mentioned, like, for both newcomers and for both uh, that already have business. This is gonna work out smoothly because everything is based on the exact same principles, right? No matter where you are at right now. Just to be upfront with you, uh, I will be sharing no new trends, no complex strategies, or magic methods, or whatever you hear nowadays. Um, None of that, right? Also, at the end of my main conversation here with you, uh, if there is some time left, I guess there will be. Uh, just as an extra subject for those that are deciding now to step on the e-com adventure, I will give you the exact simple step roadmap to actually do it, right? With a guarantee, personal guarantee that if you take action on what I'm gonna say, you will end up at least with your own product in stock and the ability to sell it right off the bat. And when I say exact roadmap, I really mean it. It's the exact steps that I have taken myself recently, actually, by co-founding our own e-com brand in UK with my partner Johnny. Uh, so I say no $1 million business or anything. It's just things that I have done recently, and we are doing it ourselves, other than the consulting part. Now, let's put this part aside until the end, because there are people with the current business watching. And let me roll back to my main point of this session, which I put together to cover all possible cases we have in this code. Uh, so I put these three principles uh, you know together, and I have them separated for you to be easier to understand on how things work. And we will begin with with a number one, right? So this is what I call the mission, right? You probably have heard a similar term. You probably have heard this as vision. Have a vision for your business and all of that. Now, for the sake of this session, we will call this mission. And you know a mission-driven company will outperform and build a business that learns to make money by selling products. uh, the mission, I'm going to explain this a bit more in a bit. Now, bear with me. The mission should be your very first reason for taking this path, right? Let me explain. It's still all about your customers, right? That's why this session is called Unboxing Customers. So, uh, your core audience, that it's all about your core audience. You should always be focused on them. It all starts from that. Now, an example of that, uh, because you may have you might be connecting the term mission related to some other context that you have seen. So a mission driven company, for example, can be an e-com business that serves cooking enthusiasts, uh, and is driven to make their time in the kitchen easier and more fun, right? That's their mission. to serve those cooking enthusiasts and, you know, make their life easier or more fun in the kitchen. It's up to them. Right? So that's an example of their mission, right? So if you begin from that, uh, you know, you choose your audience at the start, and you decide on what you want to help them with. When you have that, how that helps, right? When you have that, no matter what happens along the way to your business, might be errors, might be confusions, questions that you might have along the way. It's, you know, it's crazy, a roller coaster. So if you have that mission in your head, in your mind, you will be able to come back to it at any point, no matter what happens. And as long as you're driven like that, you're destined to succeed, at least at serving the right people to do the right thing. It all begins, it all connects. It's like a domino, right? Now, I hope you understand my accent. I might be using some words that you're not familiar with. I hope that's all good. The point of this is to just digest the main core of this. Now, what I just, talked about, the mission, the first part of this session, uh, applies to applies to everyone, right? Either you're starting right now, or even if you're already running your business, it applies to both cases, right? Take a moment and think about it, work for it, and you will see how its other piece comes together in a kind of smoother way, right? If you're having your business right now and you're making sales, try to actually see if you are standing up for something. Are you there just selling products, quick cuts, or are you really, you know, striving for something bigger? And that's something that will separate those that, stand in in history in the long term from those that are just out there selling a product and then just jumping on the next one and nobody remembers them. Now, that was the first part, right? We go now to core number two, core or section or whatever. So the second thing that I want to talk to you about is the lineup of your products, all right? And again, I might be becoming tiresome. So either you have just started out right now, or you are inside the transit for a long time, but for some reason you're struggling, right? We're all struggling at some point. One of the main mistakes is having the mindset that your brand is becoming successful because you're generating more and more customers. Now, be careful here. This is one of the most important things that you are going to get from, from this call with me. Now, parentheses. This is was what most of the dropshipping shops businesses are based on, right? On the principle of generating new customers, every moment, more and more customers. Uh, Now I'm gonna ask you a question with no response needed. All right? Tell me a brand that people know of, a brand that is famous to people, which is fully based on dropshipping. Name me one business. Now keep that answer for yourself because I know the answer. Uh, Now that's why this is important, right? Now, what I mean by all that, you know, new customers and whatnot, and why I'm against that mindset. Let's take an example to make it far easier for you to understand, right? Let's take a shop, a store, a business, right, that sells wooden cutting boards. You know, those wooden boards that you cut meat on it or whatever. Uh, the common mistake that might happen to a business like that is keep adding more and more different types of wooden cutting boards, for example, right? So they start selling their pieces, and then along the way, because they're making sales, of course, they decide to add another item and more. But it just keeps being a different type of cutting board, right? Now, one more question for you: how many times the same customer would come back to buy another wooden board from them, all right? Or at the best case scenario, how often? Now, parenthesis again, how often is because some of you might ask, Alex, I'm selling expandable products, not wooden boards. So probably something like food or something that people will just keep needing, right? Okay, yes, but when they come back, uh, they will only buy that, right? Why not maximize the potential for profit and make it easy for them to just get more products from you, uh, and help them fulfill still the same goal. Now, let's turn this example right now at this call into an empire, right? Let's turn this mistakenly, you know, uh, business that sells wooden boards into an empire with a quick fix that would cost not more or take no extra work from what they already put into, right? I mean, the extra work and money to add more products. Instead of another type of wooden cutting board, it could be a different shape or a tree kind. I'm not an expert in this. Uh, I would add, instead of those as a new product, I would add a wooden spoon, right? A wooden fork, or simply put, something of the same theme, the theme of the kitchen, uh, but something different, right? Still fulfilling the same thing, still fulfilling those that want products for functionality in their kitchen. How would that work, right? You ask. Instead of thinking my business as a cutting board niche, because that's what most people do out there. They lock themselves into the product instead of the bigger picture, right? I would understand I'm in the business of helping cooking enthusiasts, all right? Put that deep into your mind. Uh, so I simply would start adding more items to to increase their arsenal of of products they need to fulfill their goals, right? And boom, that quick tip alone might turn your reality upside down, and I really mean it. It sounds simple, right? But just try to focus, try to think of your business not just for the product, but as you see now, it relates to what I said previously, to my previous point, which is a mission, right? It all comes together slowly, and you will see with what I'm gonna say next, and everything will come together nicely, and you will see how it all changes, right? Now, let's go to the third and final point, which I call the experience. Now, that includes everything from customer support down to the famous unboxing experience. Everything, all those simple things that you have already heard of or you're doing already, maybe. But take a moment and think: are you really taking that extra step to stand out uh, and make a difference? Uh, because it's so simple to say, yeah, unboxing experience, making a package and let them share it. We work for that. We're trying to make it good, but how? How good? How how deeper you go from your competition? Now, let me give you an ideal scenario. Right? Remember the mission. As I said, the mission, all that comes together. You remember the lineup of your products. Now put them all together in your mind. Consider Now considering all all that, you will have a far better structure, right? To actually support your customers, hold their hands in that adventure. Imagine that they cross a desert, right? They need someone to support them on that journey they have taken, right? Uh, Again, the example with the cooking enthusiast, for example, they are on a journey to become, great at their kitchen and start creating uh, things for friends or whatever, or become an expert in cooking. Now, your business has to fulfill that dream of theirs, to support them with whatever you can to actually achieve that and provide them what they need. Exams, give them a recipe list, depending on your products, of course. I can't guess it. Give them a recipe list, tutorials, give them some guides, or put some fun inserts. That's what's called like thank you cards, all that, inside their packets, right? And even if within your margins, give them an unboxing experience good enough for them to have a reason to share it in their Instagram page, or even talk about with their friends, at their when they're taking out their coffee. Now, I'm not sure if it's gonna be coffee because we have the pandemic, but you know how what I mean, right? A good word of mouth will outperform your best performing ad anytime, because your organic is more powerful if you do it right. And that comes from someone that works with ads. Uh, so to sum up, right, we have the mission, we have the lineup of products, and the experience. Easy to understand and maybe all familiar, but it's not about how easy it is to think about, but how clear it can be for you to actually use from the get go or implement if you are already on that path. All right. So let me see what time. So we have some time, and soon in a bit, I'm gonna share that roadmap I promised you for the ones that are looking to launch the business now. Now, first, forget all the trends about dropshipping, uh, quick automated methods, and all that. And don't get me wrong, I have nothing against all that. It's just a personal preference and work style, right? And that doesn't sit well with me. I'm a lover of, long-term vision, and I hope you are too. Uh, and that excitement you get when you hold the actual product you have helped design or make or develop, and holding it in your hand, it's priceless, right? And not even mentioning that you end up with actual stock, and that is by far a better investment, no matter what happens next, right? So, what are the steps for it? Now, the very first thing to do if you are starting out and you're thinking of starting an e-com business, a brand, is selecting your product, right? It comes down to who you want to serve and the user stuff. It's all about the user stuff, about your avatar and your ideal audience and all of that. So the very first thing, select your product that you want to go for. One product, all right? You will understand later. One product, the first product, nothing more. Now the first thing to do is to go in Google, type to search for your manufacturers. Private labels is the user term that works when you're typing and will give you the best results probably. And now, based on the results, try to write down a short list of whoever seems to meet your criteria with a quick scan around their websites, and it's similar to that, right? Summing up, select your product like uh, wooden cutting board that comes to my mind. No way. So wooden cutting board, private label. Now a gold tip here is to put your location, example UK, next to your search, because it will show you the best choices in your country, and it's always better if you can find someone in your location rather than the other side of the world, especially with what is going on right now. Now try to contact them, phone or email. Phone is preferred option of mine as it's faster and speed is king. And now filter down the ones that seem to be more responsive and communicative. And communication is my number one point for choosing someone to work with. Uh, Now, if it's possible and affordable, from those that you have filtered down, probably to 1 to 3 options remain. Try to order some samples for the product that you want, and then guess what? Just choose the product that you want. That's it. Uh, Now you see that you might have noticed I mentioned the word affordable, and truth is I'm tired of all those that says it's cheap or the guy started with $50 and built $1 million business. I will tell you this: it might not be so affordable for some people, and I want to give you a real case example. Me and my partner Johnny, as I said, thought we would need to invest around $500 to start this e-com journey of our brand. However, we ended up with a minimum order quantity from our manufacturer of 5K instead, right? Crazy. So, well, not cheap for sure, no matter who you are. So we went for it anyways. We did how we wanted it, so we went for it. Now, each case, each thing is different, and I'm not gonna pretend that everyone can or should start with zero budget or the opposite with thousands of dollars. It's just different, it depends. Now, the way might, the options that you have might change, but the way to do it remains the same, all right? And, that's it. Select your product, search for your manufacturer as I described, and just go for it. And all the hard work is really done. When you get the stock, there is one thing you want to do, nothing else really. Put them for sale. Put your right, list them somewhere. Either it's Shopify or Amazon if you want something cheaper, because Amazon is cheap. I think it's even free. And if you want to have your own website or e-shop, then go for Shopify. Forget all the other options, all the extras like WooCommerce, all of that. I'm not saying it's bad, but it will take you more hassle and trouble than you really need at this point until you get starting getting sales. Uh, no matter how hard to believe, most people uh, stop at one of the previous points and never find the chance to actually launch, right? And trust me on this, your priority is to get rolling. You will have time to improve everything along the way. Yes, even the product and the branding itself. All of that is not crucial to make your first sales and set sail into this adventure. Now, having said that, uh, now I hope that that has been a clean swipe in your horizon, right? I am 100% aware it sounds that simple and familiar, but there is literally nothing else you should be thinking right now if you are planning to launch something in that way at least, right? There are tons of other ways to do it. Suppliers from AliExpress, Alibaba, and whatnot, white labeling, and more. I cannot judge or speak for those because I have not played with these rules. However, I can remember myself a few years back. We tried some dropshipping and we failed. Uh, Not losing money, but not saying that you would fail to in that way, but just saying my case. You might be asking at this point, we have 4 minutes left. So you might be asking, Alex, what about the branding? What about adding more apps or plugins that will improve our sales rates? And I will tell you exactly that. You said the word improve, right? And all of that comes second. You cannot have everything in front of you before you land, so you will just get lost in thought. So because of that, I prefer to work my way through uh, with the vital stuff first, right? And then improve, as you said, as you asked yourself, along the way. Either it's the product itself, the quality of the product, the branding, all of that, right? So for those that are starting right now, select your product that you will go for. Search for the manufacturer right now if you want to do it. Get your samples and just go for it. Don't stop overthinking who supplier is best. You will never know if you don't filter them down and just get some samples from them. You will never really know. And just try them, order your final product, and that's it. Start selling and improve later. Forget all you know about random platforms, all your options that are out there. Just go for Shopify if you want a website of yours, or just use Amazon just to get some sales and improve later. And if you use the three core principles that I talked about earlier, you will be in the best place that you will ever be. And I hope it's been useful for you, even if it sounds simple and even flat. I know that, I'm aware of that, because it's simple. It's things that you have heard before, nothing new, as I said. But because of all that information out there, all the trainings, all the courses, you probably get lost somewhere in between, and you start thinking about a new platform or a plugin, or even advertising and all that. But all of those things come second, right? I truly believe that. And it all comes back to the basic principles uh, of of running a business and a brand and all that. So I hope I have helped you. And I guess I have 1 minute or less, and I am done. Good luck to you all, and if you're thinking it, just do it. All right? That was a movie finale.